All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about something that makes most of us a little uncomfortable. Oh yeah. I know you're excited and I am too, because today we're going to be discussing how crazy each and every one of us are. We're going to be talking about mental health. Listen, I understand that some of you may not care about mental health, but it's more serious of a topic than you may even realize. Why? Because we're all humans and we all feel emotions. And we all have a deep desire to feel good as often as possible. That alone tells you how important mental health is, and that even though we may not admit it, we may need some help with feeling a little better. But there's a problem, and boy is it a big one. It's called the mental health stigma. We think that only so-called crazy people are the ones that need help with mental issues. And we think that only the people with the most serious issues are the ones that may need help or guidance on how to overcome them. Things like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, dissociative identity disorder, clinical depression. But we don't think that because we get angry or feel stress or go through bouts of depression that we may need help. Or worse, that we may actually have a mental health issue. Oh heck no, we're not one of those crazy people. We're totally normal. And it's this fear of being labeled as crazy that ultimately keeps us from ever starting the healing process. We shy away from the endless amount of resources that are out there because we can't admit to ourselves that yes, maybe we do have some dents to buff out. And this stems from the fact that our brain is the control center of everything. So if we feel that our brain may not be working quote unquote properly, then we're just going to be labeled as all the other clinically insane people out there. And unfortunately, this can bring us shame. But there's nothing shameful about it, because what is proper anyway? Does it mean never being sad, never being angry, never being anxious, always being 100% confident in yourself? Because the last time I checked, that's not reality. The reality is that as human beings, we have ups and downs. Sometimes we feel good about ourselves, and sometimes we don't feel so good about ourselves. But that doesn't make us crazy, that just makes us normal. If we break a bone, most of us will gladly go see a doctor. But if we start to feel a little depressed or anxious, most of us won't even talk about it. And trust me, I'm not here to condemn anyone who may feel this way, because I used to think the same way too. I was afraid of opening up to the discomfort. I was afraid of the possibility that maybe I don't have all of my emotions figured out. And I was afraid of facing those things that were hurting me the most. So I put up a wall. I let off a persona of toughness and masculinity because I didn't want to be labeled as somebody who had any issues. And I definitely didn't want to admit it to myself. But deep down, I was hurting. I was hurting bad. And it manifested itself into anger, anxiety, and thoughts of suicide. Mental health isn't just for the clinically depressed. It isn't just for those who have schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. No, mental health is for all. And the way I see it is this: mental health is just like physical health. There are some people who need to go see a doctor or get medication, or who need to go see a physical therapist in order to heal an injury. And then there are the rest of us who are quote unquote normal and who don't need to go see a doctor, and we don't need medication, but maybe we want to lose some fat, or maybe we want to gain some muscle. So we join a gym. So we start eating right and going to the gym regularly, and soon we find that we're losing fat and gaining muscle. So we're becoming more physically healthy. On the other hand, there are people who need to go see a therapist. They need to go get medication because they may have schizophrenia or PTSD, or maybe there's some chemical imbalance in their brain. And then there are the rest of us, those of us who don't need that level of intervention. We don't need the medication, but we could use some help to become more mentally healthy, to become more mentally fit, so that we can better deal with the stresses and the challenges of life. So we start meditating, or we start doing yoga, or we start practicing mindfulness, or simply opening up ourselves to those things that have been hurting us for so long. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to tell you that you have issues and that you must start doing something about it. No, because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to live with those issues, no one else. So it's up to you. But I am here to say that if you do feel that you could become more mentally healthy, then I'm glad to tell you that there are ways. Ways to become more happy, more loving, more confident, less stressed, better able to take on the challenges of life, and ultimately live a more fulfilling life. Because for all we know, this is the only life that we have. That's it. I, for one, don't want to live my life in depression or anger. I did that, and I don't ever plan on going back. Mental health affects us all, It's not just for those who have clinical issues, because we all have brains and we all feel emotions. It's just up to you whether or not you want to start feeling better. If you do, then make sure to click like and subscribe. I come out with videos every week. And make sure to check out thewayofgrowth.com for a more in-depth look. Take care, and I'll see you guys next week.